Dan the Disaster Plaster joins us from the People's Network. How are you doing?
Thank you.
I see you repping the shirt there. Kind of nice with Walby on. Did you even know Walby was going to be on that when you wore that shirt?
Yes. Clark gave me the heads up that Walby was going to be on. Still one of my favorites. And you mentioned Red Bull. After watching Chris and listening to Chris, I don't need Red Bull now. I am jacked for the biggest football weekend of the season without the NFL because the NCAA also starts with games starting on Wednesday night, and then tonight is the beginning of the Labor Day weekend for the CFL. This is, if you love football, this is why you live, is for this weekend.
I was thinking just that. There's enough NFL news going on. They'll be covered until next week when they kick off Thursday in Tampa. But between college and CFL and junior football here,
yes.
it is a buffet. But Dan, I said to the viewers off the top that you are a football guy. Walby just said, I don't think this is the right move to make the Elks play 3 games in 7 days. And the viewers are writing in saying nobody's making them do anything. They voted in favor of it. Their choice was to forfeit the game and not be paid. They didn't have a choice. They're making them play 3 games in 7 days. So I'm not totally, I think I voted both yes and no in our poll today for Capital Auto Mall, Universal Collision Center. Is it right to make them play 3 games in 7 days? As they put the results up, what are they saying? What are the results on Facebook right now? Last we looked, it was like 50-50. Now it's 56% say, no, it's not right to make them play 3 games in 7 days.
It's dangerous.
Over to you,
It's going to be super wild. So it almost feels like they're being punished to get paid. It's kind of, I'm completely on the fence with you on this one because there's so many layers to this. I went super conspiracy theory. It's what I do. And I went with if the Elks lost the game and didn't get paid, does that money still remain on the salary cap? So do they have that extra money to spend, say, later in the year to maybe pick up an extra player? Or if it's a successful season after that, can they still kind of ghost bonus players that didn't get paid, like some of your higher players like Harris and Darrell Walker and those sort of players? There's other lingering things, and we talked about it, that we're sure CFL general managers have thought of this and thought of preemptive plans if this happened. But man, 3 games in 7 days. The United States was just having a meltdown with that Bishop Sycamore team, that fake high school team that played IMG Academy on ESPN, and they played 2 days before in Pittsburgh. And they got angry over that. And those are high school kids. And I don't know. If you're Edmonton and you're fighting for a playoff spot, hasta la vista, baby.
They're done. They won't win the game.
Oh, deader than my cat's nuts.
The dates are Edmonton at Sask, November 13th. Let's do a map here. As you look at
bring Google Maps up and just dupe.
So they're playing in the sweatpants capital, Edmonton at Saskatchewan, November 13th.
Okay.
And then they go to Toronto, November 16th. And then they go all the way out to Vancouver, November 19th. So not only put travel on top of that.
How do you do that? I mean, even as a manager, I'm just thinking, well, for years we did the junior hockey thing, and the 3 games and 3 nights is a nightmare just to even organize in April when you get the schedule in the Western Hockey League. How do you do that in 4 weeks, 5 weeks, and schedule? Your season is completely rescheduled. So that has also thrown a kink into things. It's not just a punishment for the players; it's a punishment for the whole organization.
Yeah, and then to a certain extent, the league. I mean, Moose and I nobody wants this. I think
how bad are those games going to be?
Right, the games aren't going to be good. Nobody wanted this to happen. Craig Campbell's watching from the Hockey Hall of Fame in downtown Toronto. He says, from what I recall, the league used to play home and home games on a Friday and Sunday, but 3 games is too much. Where did it get slid off the screen? Too much for pro or amateur.
Well, back in the 2-game total point, in
especially
the early 70s, in the early 70s, it was 2-game total point, and I can't remember what the spread was with that, but then they had an extra break before they played the finals. So yes, it's been done, but it's not then.
It's
now.
Extenuating circumstances. And listen, they used to have ashtrays in the lockers. Ask George Reed. So What are we talking here? Physically, they can do it. And as Walby said, they've added 5 players per team, per practice roster to do it. So I guess that's the point is physically they can do it. And Moose and I think physically they can do it. Moose and I were driving home from Saskatoon yesterday, and he's like, look at the Denver Broncos last year. The National Football League, dare I say, as far as I'm concerned, the number 1 league in the world, for sure the continent. The Denver Broncos had no quarterbacks available. They all had COVID or were all in COVID protocol, and they made a defensive back start at quarterback in the National Football League. And if you remember, was that not like a punishment to the Broncos from the NFL, going, you guys can't keep your stuff straight, so we're making you play. Is this a punishment to the Elks in a way?
It's a punishment to get rewarded.
To get paid.
I feel like we're training a dog here. Like, what are we doing?
Yes. And by the way, that's why I wanted to write this down here, what those actual dates were, because Mike Horrigan's watching in Toronto, and he says, that's a horrible roadie. You can't be serious. I'm like, yes, we are. And when this came down yesterday afternoon, I'm like, oh, man, are we going to have fun talking about this tomorrow?
Well, even what Moose said about you play, you have 2 days, you play, you have 3 days. There's going to be no pads, and he's right. It's just going to be a lot of practices in a lot of hotel banquet rooms. It's going to be messy football.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching the RP Show on YouTube. And don't forget, we're live daily on YouTube from noon to 2 Eastern. If you like what you see, hit subscribe. And if you like the program, check around for other segments of the Rod Pedersen Show here on YouTube.